Hi everyone, and welcome to this video going over lesson 31-2, the axis of symmetry and the vertex. We have talked about how parabolas are symmetric. If we draw this imaginary vertical line through the vertex of the parabola, it splits the parabola perfectly in half, such that every single point has a mirror point on the other side of that line. If we were to fold along that vertical line, the parabola would line up with one another. That line is called the axis of symmetry, the vertical line that passes through the vertex. And up until this point, we've needed to know what the vertex is in order to draw our axis of symmetry. But in this video, we are going to learn that we can solve for the equation of the axis of symmetry by saying x equals negative b over 2a. And these letters come from the standard form of a quadratic equation, where a is the coefficient in front of the x squared term, b is the coefficient in front of the x term, and c is the constant. If this equation can be used to find the axis of symmetry, and the axis of symmetry goes through the vertex, that means that the x-coordinate of the vertex can also be found using x equals negative b over 2a. But remember, to find the vertex, not only do we want the x value, but we also need its y value. So once we know what x is, to find the y value of the vertex, we need to plug in the x value to the quadratic equation. This is going to be a lot faster at finding the vertex than our previous method, because before we have had to factor to find our x-intercepts, and then we would find the middle between those x-intercepts. But now we can find the vertex without finding the x-intercepts at all. So let's try this. Given my quadratic equation, I am going to start by labeling a, b, and c. My axis of symmetry equation is negative b over 2 times a. So it looks like my b value is 2, so negative 2 divided by 2 times a, which is an imaginary 1. 2 times 1 is just 2, and negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1, which means my axis of symmetry is the line x equals negative 1. Remember, we call vertical lines x equals because those vertical lines are what go through the x-axis. So we have the equation x equals negative 1, which also tells us that our vertex starts with negative 1. And then to find the y value, we are going to go ahead and plug in negative 1 into our equation. So everywhere you see x, we are going to go ahead and plug in negative 1. Negative 1 squared is positive 1. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, minus 8. 1 minus 2 is negative 1, and negative 1 minus 8 is negative 9. So this tells me that my vertex is the point negative 1, negative 9. Let's try this one more time. So once again, I need to label A, B, and C. To find the equation for my axis of symmetry, I need to use negative b over 2a, which will be negative 4 all over 2 times negative 1, because notice how my x squared is negative, which means that's an imaginary negative 1. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. And negative 4 divided by negative 2 will leave me with a positive 2. And so my axis of symmetry is the line x equals 2, which means my vertex goes through the x value of 2. And to find its corresponding y value, I need to plug in 2 to my equation. So I'm plugging in 2 for every single x. Make sure when you plug in the 2 for that first x squared that the negative's on the outside. 2 squared is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. Negative 4 plus 8 would be 4, plus 5 gives me 9. So my vertex will be at the point 2, 9. So this is another way of finding your vertex and the equation of the axis of symmetry. We didn't even have to find our x-intercepts to know what the vertex point is, but if you were to find the x-intercepts, 2, 9 should still be in the middle of your x-intercepts. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you in class.